Hello and welcome to the Culinary Adventures of Mad Zach. We're on episode 12 and we're making today some stuffed peppers, and it's going to be stuffed with ground beef and rice and a little bit of marinara sauce. It's a good old Italian stuffing pepper fest here today. So to make this, what we need to do is we need to gather 4 green bell peppers, 1 pound of ground beef, 1 medium onion, 1½ cups of cooked rice, 1 large tomato, 1/2 cup of marinara sauce, 1 clove of garlic, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, a dash of pepper, and 1 tablespoon of fresh basil. I'm going to go ahead and get those together and then we'll start stuffing some peppers. Welcome back. Got everything together. I went ahead and started browning the meat, and I already did the water boil bath that we do for the green peppers. So I'm going to pull those out now. We're going to put them in just a regular baking dish. You want them to look very green, and then also if you chose red, you could also go ahead and use it and make it look very red, right? But the water bath is going to allow that to bake a lot better. So go ahead and remove those from the water bath and make sure they're drained. And then just set that right there on the side. And then you're going to go ahead and add your onions and your garlic as well to your meat that's now pretty much browned. Oh, missed a few garlic. Stir that on up. Whew, it's getting hot in here. Alright, that's going to cook a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take about a 1/4 cup of water. We're going to put this in the bottom of the baking pan. You're also going to set the oven 350. Get that preheating while you do this. We'll take the 1/4 cup of water. Just pour that right on the bottom. Try not to get it actually in the peppers. Onions are looking pretty translucent now, so we're going to go ahead and add all of our seasonings, our rice, and our tomatoes. So I'll go ahead and start with the rice. Just get it all mixed in there. Oop, just a little bit. Make sure just to cook that rice the way that you always do. Let's add our tomatoes. And we'll go ahead and throw all the spices in too. Oh, just a little bit. So the basil that I'm using is actually fresh from my garden in my bedroom because it's wintertime and stuff doesn't grow that well out there anymore. And it's kind of a pesto basil. It's not a regular basil, but I did throw a little Thai basil in there. Adds a little extra spice. So just go ahead and mix everything up. And then go ahead and turn off the heat. Pan's probably hot enough it'll keep cooking anyway. Keep mixing all that goodness up. Alright, we'll let that do its thing. Turn off that boiling water because we certainly don't need that still going. We're going to pour a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil or any type of oil that you want to use just right in the center here. That'll help it a little bit with this, the filling. Just a little. Probably about a teaspoon each pepper. Total 4 right now. And then we're actually going to add just a little bit more salt. And And you can always adjust the salt flavoring as you see fit, but just kind of sprinkle it right down there at the bottom where that oil was. Okay. Now, we're going to mix up our filling one more time. I'll show you what that looks like here. Looks very tasty as I look into the monitor. Anyway, I mean, you could just eat this. I don't know why you got to stuff it in peppers, I guess. Looks really good. And we'll move this over to the side. And then you're just going to go ahead and scoop all of it into the center of the pepper. And then we're going to do one final thing before we put this in the oven. So it's kind of hard to scoop it in there. I like to use kind of spoons with a scooping type ladle action, because you want to make sure you get it in the pepper and not in the bottom of the pan. And then also make sure you just kind of compact it in there. So push it down and just fill it right up. Now this recipe is pretty good for larger peppers. Unfortunately, I tried looking for some larger peppers and they just weren't available. So I was currently stuck with these smaller ones. So I will have a little filling left over, but that's all right because this is good on its own. Or it can be stuffed into some cabbage as well if you wanted to do it that way. Or freeze it and save it for next time. You can do that as well. All right, this one is not happy to stand up. And a little bit here. Okay. So we got ourselves our stuffed peppers. I'll set this over on the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to finish it off with a little marinara sauce on top. And we're just going to pour that over. Left that off screen. Anyway, so just go ahead and drizzle it on top. Depending on how they're shaped, they should just hold it quite well. But as I mentioned before, I got one that's kind of oddly slanted. All right, so we are good now. Just a little bit in the bottom of the pan. You can add it later. We're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven now for about 40 to 45 minutes. We're gonna see how it turns out, but I have a hunch they're gonna be delicious. So we'll put this in the oven. We'll see about 40, 45 minutes. So after about 45 minutes, now 45 is a number that works great with my oven, but every oven's different. So play between the range of 40 to 50 and just keep an eye on it. I mean, you'll be able to tell. They'll be really soft on the outside. It'll kind of curl in at the top. But really every oven's different, so you can't always go by what exact amount of time it is. It's all about looking at it, from what I've learned, at least with all the things that I've burnt. Anyway, so let's get these guys out of here. It's been about 45 minutes. I'm going to go pull these out, and these smell delicious and amazing and great. So let's pull them out. Oh, yes. Very good. So you can see it a little bit there. But I'm going to go pull one out, and we're going to plate it. Now, you'll want to let these cool probably for about 5 to 10 minutes because it will be extra hot. And there's no real good way to pull these out. I like to use tongs, but if you do that, because it's so soft, it's going to kind of fall apart. So you need to use tongs and then scoop underneath to kind of transfer it over. It's like carrying an egg almost. So you need to be very careful with it. And that process works beautifully. Now what I would do to serve, I'm not going to do that right now though, is I would probably cut it and then tip it over so the insides kind of fall out. So you get a little bit of the pepper and you get a little bit of the inside and a nice plain beautiful view. So leave me some comments. Let me know how this works out for you. Tell me what you want me to make. I'm more than happy to make it. Plenty of ideas, but I'd like to make whatever you guys are looking for. Leave me comments, let me know, and then I'll catch you next week with another great episode.